Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to share a truth that has the power to completely transform your life, change your thoughts, and you will change your life. Every single day, your mind is filled with thoughts, some empowering, some limiting. The quality of your life does not depend on your circumstances alone, but on how you think about them. Your thoughts shape your beliefs shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. If you think you are not good enough, you will never try. If you think you are destined to fail, you will never plan for success. But the moment you start changing your thoughts, replacing fear with faith, doubt with determination, and complaints with gratitude, you begin to transform your entire reality. Great leaders, innovators, and achievers throughout history first conquered their minds before they conquered their fields. They trained their thoughts to see solutions where others saw problems. They trained their minds to see opportunities where others saw dead ends. Ask yourself today, what thoughts are holding me back? What thoughts do I need to plant in my mind to grow the life I truly want? Remember, your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant grows. If you plant seeds of hope, confidence, courage, and clarity, you will harvest success, peace, and joy. So today, commit to changing your thoughts. Focus on what you can do, what you can become, and how you can make a difference. Because once you change your thoughts, you will change your life forever. I want to speak to you about one of the greatest truths of human life, a truth that has the power to transform your destiny, your confidence, and your entire existence. That truth is simple yet profound. Your thoughts shape your life. Everything you see around you today, every building, every creation, every dream fulfilled once began as a thought. A simple thought in the mind of a human being who dared to believe it could become reality. Likewise, everything you experience within your life, your happiness, your peace, your struggles, your victories, all have roots in your thoughts. Your thoughts are powerful. They are like invisible architects designing the blueprint of your life every single day. If your thoughts are negative, fearful, or filled with doubt, then no matter how talented, intelligent, or hardworking you are, you will constantly find yourself stuck, anxious, and unfulfilled. But if your thoughts are positive, courageous, and purposeful, then even in difficult situations, you will rise, grow, and transform your life into something extraordinary. Many people live their lives thinking their circumstances define them. They believe that because they were born in poverty, they will remain poor. Because they failed once, they will always fail. Because someone said they're not good enough, they will never succeed. But these are not truths, these are just thoughts. And when you change your thoughts, you change the meaning you give to your circumstances, and that changes your life. For example, if you think, I can't do this, I am not smart enough, your actions will align with that thought. You will avoid opportunities. You will not prepare or work hard because deep within, you have already decided you will fail. But if you change that thought to, I may not know everything now, but I can learn, I can grow, and I will improve, suddenly your approach changes. You start seeking knowledge, you start working harder, you become open to correction and growth. And in that process, your life begins to change. One of the greatest gifts we humans have is the power to choose our thoughts. We may not always be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we think about it. Two people can go through the same painful situation, but one emerges broken and bitter, while the other emerges wiser and stronger. The difference is not in what happened to them. The difference is in how they thought about what happened. If you look at the lives of great leaders, thinkers, spiritual teachers, or successful people in any field, you will find that their journeys were filled with obstacles. But what set them apart was not the absence of problems. It was the presence of empowering thoughts. They trained their minds to see possibilities where others saw only problems. They saw opportunities for growth where others saw dead ends. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes." This means that if you constantly think thoughts of peace, you will become a peaceful person. If you constantly think thoughts of fear, you will live a fearful life. If you constantly think thoughts of courage, confidence, and purpose, you will live with courage, confidence, and purpose. Your thoughts influence your emotions. Your emotions influence your actions, and your actions shape your future. Imagine waking up every day with thoughts of gratitude, saying to yourself, I am grateful to be alive. I have another day to grow, to love, to learn, and to make a difference. Such thoughts create positive emotions of joy and peace within you. They energize your actions. You become more productive, more compassionate, and more focused. But if you wake up every day thinking, nothing good ever happens to me, my life is useless, there is no hope, these thoughts create emotions of sadness, depression, and hopelessness, which drain your energy and lead to inaction or destructive habits. So how do you begin to change your thoughts first? Become aware of them. Throughout your day, pause and observe what you are thinking. Are your thoughts empowering you or limiting you? Are they filled with hope or with doubt? Awareness is the first step to transformation. Second, question your thoughts. Just because you think something does not make it true. You think, I will never succeed. Ask yourself, is this really true? Or is this just my fear speaking? What evidence do I have that I can succeed? Replace thoughts that are untrue or limiting with that empower you to move forward. Third, feed your mind with positivity. Read inspiring books. Listen to motivational speeches. Surround yourself with people who uplift you. Just like your body needs healthy food to stay strong, your mind needs healthy thoughts to grow. Fourth, practice gratitude daily. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It fills your mind with thoughts of abundance rather than scarcity. And abundance thinking attracts greater blessings into your life. Finally, visualize the life you want to live. Every day, take a few moments to close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving your goals, living with confidence, serving others with compassion, and enjoying deep peace within. The more you feed your mind with these powerful thoughts and images, the more your life will begin to align with them. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of fear, doubt, and negativity, they will grow and take over your life like weeds. But if you plant seeds of hope, faith, courage, and positivity, they will grow into beautiful flowers and fruits that will nourish not only your life, but the lives of everyone around you. So today, make a commitment to yourself, change your thoughts, choose thoughts that empower, inspire, and transform you. Because when you change your thoughts, you truly change your life. I want to share with you a powerful truth that transforms the way you see yourself, your life, and your future. That truth is circumstances do not define you, your mindset does. Every day, we encounter situations that challenge us. Sometimes we are faced with difficulties we never expected. We might struggle financially, face academic failure, experience heartbreak, feel rejected, or be criticized by those around us. At times, life feels unfair and harsh. It is natural to feel discouraged or even defeated. But remember this, what happens to you is not what defines who you are. What defines you is how you choose to respond to what happens. Your mindset is the set of beliefs and attitudes you carry about yourself, others, and the world. It is the lens through which you interpret your experiences. Two people can go through the same hardship, yet their lives will be completely different based on their mindset. One person might use that hardship as a stepping stone to grow, while another might use it as a reason to give up. Think about a seed planted in rocky soil. The external environment is harsh, but if the seed has the strength within, it will break through the rock and grow towards the light. In the same way, your external circumstances might be difficult, but your inner strength, your mindset, will determine whether you remain buried under those difficulties or break through and grow. Let me share a simple example. Imagine two students who fail an important exam. The first student thinks, I am a failure. I am not smart enough. This is the end for me. With this mindset, he stops trying. He loses confidence and continues to perform poorly. The second student, however, thinks, this is a setback. I did not prepare well enough. Next time, I will study differently and work harder. With this mindset, he learns from his mistakes, improves his strategy, and eventually succeeds. What was the difference between them? Both faced the same circumstance, failure, but the first student allowed the circumstance to define him, while the second student used his mindset to redefine the circumstance as an opportunity to grow. Many people live their entire lives believing they are limited by their circumstance. They say things like, I was born poor, so I will always be poor. Or, my parents didn't support me, so I can't achieve anything. Or, I am too old to change my life now. But history is full of examples of people who prove that circumstances are never the final decision makers. Think about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, born in a poor family selling newspapers as a child to support his studies, facing numerous challenges throughout his life, yet his mindset was never limited by his circumstances. He believed in hard work, discipline, faith, and service. His mindset lifted him beyond his situation and made him the missile man and the people's president of India. His life is a reminder that no matter where you start, it is your mindset that decides where you finish. Or think about Helen Keller, who lost her sight and hearing as a child. Many would think that such a circumstance would completely destroy a person's life. But Helen Keller chose, I want to speak about a truth that silently controls many lives. A truth that we often ignore, but one that determines whether we rise or fall in life. Negative thoughts limit your potential and actions. Every day, your mind produces thousands of thoughts. Some are positive and empowering, while others are negative and limiting. The problem is not that negative thoughts exist, they always will, but that we allow them to dominate our minds, our decisions, and our lives. Negative thoughts are thoughts that make you doubt yourself, belittle your efforts, and weaken your confidence. They whisper to you, you are not good enough. You will never succeed. You always fail. No one respects you. There is no hope for you. These thoughts sound small, but their effects are massive. They limit what you attempt, how you act, and who you become. Imagine a child learning to walk. If that child thinks, I will never be able to stand, I will always fall, there is no point trying. That child will never take the first step. But because children have not yet developed limiting beliefs, they keep trying. They fall repeatedly, but they get up again and again until they learn to walk. The lesson here is simpleg. It is not failure that stops us. It is the thought that we cannot overcome failure that stops us. Negative thoughts weaken your motivation. Suppose you have an exam coming and your mind is filled with negative thoughts like, I am going to fail. I am so bad at this subject. I don't even know why I'm trying. What happens next? You lose the energy to study. You don't revise properly because deep down you believe there is no point. Then when you perform poorly, you say, see, I knew I would fail, not realizing it was your thoughts that caused your actions, and your actions caused your result. Negative thoughts are like invisible chains. Imagine a strong elephant tied to a small wooden peg. Even though the elephant has enough strength to break free, the calyx, it never tries because it was conditioned from childhood to believe it cannot break the chain. In the same way, your negative thoughts condition you to remain in the same place, even though you have the power to break free and rise. These limiting thoughts often come from past experiences. Perhaps you failed once, and that memory became a belief. I always fail. Or someone criticized you harshly, and that became a belief. I am worthless. But understand this, a thought is just a thought, not a truth. Just because you think something does not mean it is real. The danger is that your mind treats your thoughts as reality. If you think, I am not confident, your body language changes, your voice weakens, and your actions reflect that lack of confidence. If you think, I am confident, you stand taller, speak clearer, and act with strength. The thought comes first, the action follows. Negative thoughts limit not only your potential, but also your creativity. When you think negatively, your brain focuses only on problems, obstacles, and fears. It closes the door to possibilities and solutions. Have you noticed that when you are anxious or thinking negatively, you cannot concentrate, study effectively, or come up with ideas? Your mind is occupied with fear and self-doubt, leaving no space for creativity, logic, or wisdom to emerge. They also limit your relationships. For example, if you keep thinking, no one likes me, everyone is against me, you will behave in ways that push people away. You might avoid conversations, remain cold, or interpret friendly gestures as fake sympathy. In reality, your relationships are being destroyed not by others, but by your own negative thoughts. Negative thinking becomes a habit over time. The more you think negatively, the stronger the neural pathways in your brain become, and the easier it becomes to think the same way again. It is like digging a ditch. The more you dig, the deeper it gets, and the harder it becomes to climb out. But there is hope. Just as negative thoughts are learned, positive thinking can also be learned. You can break the cycle. How? First, become aware of your negative thoughts. Observe them like, so I want to speak about a truth that has the power to change the direction of your life completely. This truth is simple yet deeply transformative, positive, empowering thoughts build confidence and growth. Every human being desires confidence. We all want to feel strong, capable, and ready to face the world. We all want to grow to achieve our dreams and to become better than who we were yesterday. But often we think confidence comes from success and growth comes from opportunities. While these do play a role, the real source of confidence and growth is your thinking, the way you think about yourself, your challenges, your mistakes, and your possibilities. Positive, empowering thoughts are thoughts that strengthen you from within. They remind you of your worth, your abilities, and your potential. When you think, I can do this, or I am learning and improving every day, or I am capable of handling challenges, these thoughts energize you. They fill your mind with hope and courage. They create an inner environment that supports your success rather than sabotaging it. Think about how you feel when you wake up in the morning with thoughts like, today will be a good day. I will make progress. I am grateful for this day. I have so much potential to use. You feel lighter, more enthusiastic, and ready to take action. Compare this to waking up with thoughts like, nothing good ever happens. I am so useless. There is no point in trying. Immediately, you feel heavy, tired, and unmotivated. Positive thoughts build confidence because they change the way you see yourself. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not thinking you are better than others. True confidence is simply knowing that you are capable, worthy, and prepared to handle whatever comes your way. It is an inner strength that says, I may not know everything, but I can learn. I may not have done this before, but I can try. I may make mistakes, but I will grow from them. Imagine a student preparing for an exam. If she keeps thinking, I am so bad at this, I will fail, she will lack focus and her fear will block her understanding. But if she thinks, this is challenging, but I can handle it, I will study smartly. I am capable of learning. Her confidence increases. She approaches her studies with an open mind, absorbs knowledge faster, and performs better. Her positive thoughts build her confidence, and her confidence enhances her performance. Positive, empowering thoughts also build growth. Growth does not only mean academic success or promotions at work. Growth means becoming wiser, stronger, kinder, more resilient, and more skilled each day. Your thoughts shape your growth because they determine your actions. For example, if you think, I am too old to learn something new, you will never even try. Today, I want to share a truth that lies at the heart of every story of success and greatness you have ever heard. It is a truth that is often hidden behind achievements, awards, and recognition, but it is the real foundation of greatness. Great achievers first conquered their own minds. When we look at successful people, leaders, scientists, freedom fighters, sports champions, spiritual teachers, or innovators, we often see only their external success. We see their inventions, victories, speeches, writings, or influence. But what we do not always see is the silent, invisible battle they fought within themselves before they could achieve anything in the outside world. Every great achiever had to first overcome self-doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs within their own minds. They had to master their thinking before they could master their work. Their greatest victory was not over competitors or circumstances, but over their own weaknesses, insecurities, and inner resistance. Think about Mahatma Gandhi. Before he became the father of the nation, leading India towards freedom with his principles of nonviolence, he was an ordinary lawyer who was deeply shy and nervous. He struggled with public speaking and often felt insignificant, but he worked on his mind. He conquered his fear and self-doubt through discipline, prayer, and unbreakable faith in truth and justice. Only after conquering his own fear could he stand boldly before the British Empire with a heart full of courage and nonviolence. Think about Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison, facing harsh conditions and unimaginable emotional pain. During those years, he could have allowed anger, hatred, and hopelessness to destroy him from within. But he chose to conquer his mind. He nurtured thoughts of peace, forgiveness, and unity, even when surrounded by injustice and cruelty. When he emerged from prison, he had already won the greatest battle within himself. That is why he could lead his country towards reconciliation and freedom. If you read the life of Helen Keller, you will see the same truth. Deaf and blind from a young age, her world was filled with darkness and silence. She could have lived her entire life trapped in hopelessness. But with the help of her teacher, Anne Sullivan, she conquered her own mind. She replaced thoughts of limitation with thoughts of possibilities. She developed the courage to learn to express herself and to inspire millions. Her greatest victory was not over her physical disabilities, but over her mental barriers. Why is conquering the mind so important for achievement? Because your mind is the command center of your life. It is where your thoughts, beliefs, dreams, and fears are born. If your mind is filled with fear, you will live a fearful life. If your mind is filled with doubt, you will never act confidently. If your mind is filled with anger and hatred, you will spread anger and hatred wherever you go. But if your mind is filled with faith, courage, and clarity, your actions will reflect those qualities. You will take risks, pursue goals, and remain resilient in the face of challenges. Conquering your mind means developing mastery over your thoughts and emotions. It does not mean suppressing them, but understanding them deeply. For example, when fear arises before an exam, interview, or competition, most people run away or allow fear to paralyze them. But those who conquer their minds observe their fear calmly and choose to act with courage despite fear. They do not let fear drive their decisions. Great achievers practice mental discipline every single day. They train their minds like athletes train their bodies. They read empowering books, listen to great thinkers, reflect on their mistakes with honesty, and focus on solutions instead of problems. They guard their minds against negativity because they know that negativity is like poison. It weakens resolve and destroys dreams silently. They conquer their minds by developing a strong purpose. When you have a purpose greater than yourself, when your dreams are not just about you, but about serving your family, your community, your nation, or humanity, your mind becomes disciplined automatically. Your purpose gives you clarity. It silences distractions and excuses. They also conquer their minds by accepting failures without giving up. Great achievers are not people who never failed. In fact, they are the ones who failed many times but never allowed to define their worth. They believe that every failure carries a lesson that strengthens the mind and prepares it for the next level of growth. Look at Thomas Edison. He failed over 1,000 times while inventing the electric bulb. If he allowed negative thoughts like, I am useless, or I will never succeed, to control him, he would have quit. But he conquered his mind by choosing empowering thoughts. When asked about his failures, he said today, I want to share with you a principle that can transform not just your day, but your entire life. You choose to live by it. This principle is simple yet profoundly powerful. Replace fear with faith and doubt with determination. Fear and doubt are emotions that all human beings experience. They are natural, and at times they protect us from real danger. But in everyday life, for most of us, fear and doubt do not protect us. Instead, they limit us. They stop us from moving forward, taking risks, exploring new possibilities, and living the life we truly desire. Fear is the feeling that arises when your mind tells you, you can't do this. What if you fail? What will others think? What if you are not good enough? Doubt is the thought that arises when your mind says, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I am destined to remain like this forever. And both fear and doubt are powerful mental barriers. They stop students from raising their hands to ask questions in class. They stop talented people from applying for great jobs. They stop leaders from making bold decisions. They stop dreamers from becoming doers. They stop you from becoming the person you were born to be. But remember this, fear and doubt are nothing but thoughts. They exist only in your mind. If you allow them to control you, they will imprison you within invisible walls. But if you learn to replace them, you will experience freedom, confidence, and unstoppable growth. How do you replace fear with faith? Faith is not just a religious word. Faith means complete trust and confidence in something greater in your abilities, in the process of life, in the guidance of God or the universe, in the belief that things will work out if you give your best. When you feel fear, remind yourself, I may not see the entire path now, but I trust that each step will become clear as I walk. When you are afraid to try something new, tell yourself, I trust that I am being guided towards growth. I will not let fear hold me back. For example, think about a person standing at the edge of a river, wanting to cross, but afraid of the water's depth. If he remains in fear, he will never take a step. But if he replaces fear with faith in his swimming skills, faith in the boatman, or faith in God, he will take the first step. And only then will he realize that the river was not as deep as his fear made it seem. Every great person in history replaced fear with faith. When Swami Vivekananda traveled to America to speak at the Parliament of the world's religions in Chicago, he had very little money, no guarantee that people would listen to him, and he faced cultural barriers. But his faith was unbreakable faith in himself, in his master's teachings, and in God's purpose for him. That faith silenced his fear and gave him the courage to speak words that continue to inspire millions to this day. How do you replace doubt with determination? Doubt makes you question your worth, your abilities, and your potential. Determination, on the other hand, is the firm decision to keep going, no matter what. When doubt whispers, you cannot do this. Determination replies, I will keep trying until I can. For example, a student preparing for an exam might think, what if I fail? I don't understand this topic. Maybe I'm not smart enough. This is doubt speaking. But if she replaces doubt with determination, her thoughts will change too. I will not give up. I will study this topic again and again until I understand it. I will ask for help, find new strategies, and keep working hard until I succeed. Determination is stronger than talent. Many people are talented but remain average because they allow doubt to rule their lives. But a person with determination, even if they are not naturally gifted, keeps improving, learning, and growing until they achieve excellence. Determination is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Look at the life of APJ Abdul Kalam. Born in poverty, he could have doubted his ability to become a scientist or president, but he replaced every doubt with determination. He studied under streetlights, sold newspapers to support his education, and worked tirelessly to become India's missile man and a beloved president. His determination was greater than his doubt. How can you start replacing fear with faith and doubt with determination in your daily life? First, become aware of your thoughts. When fear arises, pause and ask yourself, is this fear protecting me from real danger, or is it stopping me from growing? If it is stopping you from growth, consciously choose to replace it with faith. Speak words of faith to yourself. Oh, I want to share a metaphor that has the power to transform your understanding of life and self-growth. It is simple, yet it carries deep wisdom. Your mind is like a garden, plant seeds of positivity. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a vast, fertile land. Each thought you think is like a seed you plant into this land. Some seeds are those of flowers, fruits, and strong trees. These are your positive thoughts of hope, courage, faith, kindness, gratitude, confidence, and possibility. Other seeds are those of weeds and thorns. These are your negative thoughts, thoughts of anger, jealousy, fear, doubt, self-hate, and hopelessness. Whatever you plant will grow. That is the law of nature. The same is true for your mind. If you keep planting seeds of negativity, over time your mind will be filled with weeds of worry, anxiety, depression, and darkness. You will look around and see only problems, failures, and reasons to remain stuck. You will not enjoy your life. You will not see your own potential. You will lose the motivation to act because your garden has become overgrown with weeds, choking your dreams and happiness. But if you choose to plant seeds of positivity, your mind will begin to bloom. It will grow flowers of joy, peace, and love. It will grow fruits of confidence, courage, creativity, and wisdom. It will become a beautiful garden that nurtures not only you, but also everyone who comes into your life. People will feel peace and inspiration in your presence because your mind radiates positivity like the fragrance of flowers. This metaphor is not just poetic, it is deeply practical. Every morning when you wake up, you are given the chance to plant seeds in your garden. When you open your eyes, what is the first thought you plant? Is it a thought like, I am so tired, my life is so difficult? nothing good ever happens? Or is it a thought like, thank you for this new day. I am alive. I have new opportunities today. I will do my best and make it meaningful. The first thought of your day sets the tone for your mind's garden. If you start your day with positivity, you begin to cultivate a peaceful and confident mindset. If you start with negativity, you feed the weeds. Positive thoughts are powerful seeds. When you think thoughts like, I can handle challenges. I am capable of learning. I choose to be calm and patient today. I am grateful for my family, my teachers, and this life. These thoughts do not disappear after a moment. They sink into the soil of your subconscious mind. They grow roots. They influence your feelings, your words, your behavior, and your destiny. For example, imagine two students preparing for an exam. One keeps planting negative seeds. I am going to fail. This is too hard. I am not smart enough. What happens? His mind becomes anxious and fearful. He cannot focus. Even if he studies, he remembers little because his mental garden is filled with weeds choking his concentration. The other student plants positive seeds, says to you, this subject is challenging, but I will give my best. I am improving each day. I want to speak to you about something that silently controls your life, your confidence, and your potential without you even realizing it. It is something that shapes your decisions, actions, achievements, and failures. That something is your belief system, especially your limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are the thoughts and convictions you hold about yourself, others, or life that restrict you, hold you back, and stop you from achieving your true potential. They are beliefs like, I am not good enough, will always fail, I am not smart enough to do this, no one respects me, I will never be successful because of my past, people like me can never achieve big things. These beliefs are called limiting because they limit your growth, actions, and confidence. They act like invisible chains that tie you down to the same place, stopping you from taking risks, exploring new opportunities, or believing in yourself. The worst thing about limiting beliefs is that often we don't even know we have them. They operate silently in the background of our minds like a software program running a device. You keep wondering, why am I not improving? Why do I keep failing? Why do I feel so low and helpless? The answer often lies not in your abilities, but in your beliefs about your abilities. For example, imagine a bright student who has always been told by his family, you are useless, you can't do anything right. Even if he scores well, his mind will keep whispering, you are not good enough. This is just luck. You will fail next time. This belief limits from aiming higher, from enjoying his achievements, and from developing his talents confidently. Where do limiting beliefs come from? They come from past experiences, childhood conditioning, repeated failures, hurtful words from parents, teachers, or friends, societal expectations, or traumatic incidents. For example, a student who failed in public speaking once may develop the belief, I can never speak confidently. A person who was rejected in love may start believing, no one will ever love me. I am unlovable. A child raised in poverty may grow up thinking, people like us can never become rich or successful. These beliefs feel like truths because they are repeated so often in the mind. But here is the greatest truth: a belief is not necessarily the truth. It is just a thought you keep thinking. If you want to transform your life, you must identify your limiting beliefs and remove them, replacing them with empowering beliefs. How do you identify your limiting beliefs? First, observe your thoughts honestly. Sit in silence with a notebook and ask yourself, what do I believe about myself that is stopping me from growing? What do I believe about my talents, my intelligence, my future? What excuses do I keep giving myself? What fear keeps coming up when I think of my goals? Write them down honestly without trying to justify them. Second, analyze where these beliefs came from. Did someone say these words to you? Did you experience repeated failure in a particular area? Did your society or family create this belief in you? Understanding the origin helps you realize that these beliefs are not part of your soul. They were taught to you by circumstances or people. Third, question the truth of these beliefs. For each limiting belief, ask, is this absolutely true? Can I be 100% certain that this is true for everyone like me? Are there people who were in worse situations than mine and still succeeded? I want to speak about a mindset that separates successful people from those who remain stuck in the same place. It is a mindset that not only improves your results, but also builds your confidence, peace, and courage to face life's challenges. That mindset is focused on solutions, possibilities, and opportunities. Every day, life presents us with problems. Some are small, like losing your notes before an exam. Some are big, like failing in a subject, struggling in relationships, facing family crises, or dealing with financial difficulties. When these problems arise, most people focus only on the problem itself. They keep thinking, why did this happen to me? This is so unfair. I can't handle this. My life is ruined. There is nothing I can do. This mindset creates helplessness, stress, and depression. When your mind is busy complaining or blaming, it cannot think clearly. You cannot find a solution if your mind is filled with frustration. You remain stuck in the same problem, feeling powerless and hopeless. But great achievers, wise leaders, and people who grow rapidly in life have a different mindset. When they face a problem, they ask, what can I do to solve this? Is there another way to approach this situation? What is this problem trying to teach me? How can I turn this challenge into an opportunity? Who can I ask for guidance or help? They focus on solutions, not problems. Their energy goes into finding answers rather than complaining about obstacles. Imagine you lose your notes before an exam. One student keeps thinking, I am so careless. This always happens to me. Now I will fail. There is no hope. Another student thinks, I lost my notes, but what can I do now? Can I borrow a friend's notes? Can I revise from my textbooks? Can I recall what the teacher taught us in class? The second student immediately moves into action, while the first remains paralyzed by fear and guilt. The difference lies not in their intelligence, but in their focus. Focusing on solutions makes you powerful. You realize that no problem is bigger than your ability to respond creatively. Even if you cannot solve the entire problem immediately, finding small steps to improve the situation builds your confidence and reduces your stress. Similarly, focusing on possibilities transforms your life. Most people focus on limitations. They say, this is not possible for me. People like us can never achieve this. I don't have the resources or talent. But those who grow in life think differently. They ask you, what is possible for me if I work hard and stay committed? What if I try a different approach? What new skill can I learn to make this possible? For example, think about the invention of the electric bulb by Thomas Edison. Thousands of times his experiments failed. If he had focused only on the failures, he would have stopped. But he focused on possibilities. He believed it was possible. I just haven't found the right method yet. That belief gave him the strength to keep trying until he succeeded. When you focus on possibilities, your mind opens up. You start seeing opportunities where others see ends. You develop creative ideas. You begin to believe in your power to change your life. Focusing on opportunities is equally important. In every situation, even painful and unfair ones, there are hidden opportunities. You might lose a job, which feels like failure, but it may be an opportunity to learn new skills and find a better career. You might fail an exam, which hurts your confidence, but it may be an opportunity to understand your mistakes and become stronger for future exams. You might face rejection in love or friendship, which feels painful, but it may be an opportunity to learn self-love, build resilience, and find relationships that are healthier and more supportive. Opportunities are like seeds hidden in the soil of problems. If you keep looking only at the dirt, you will miss the seeds. But if you search carefully with hope and wisdom, you will find them and nurture them into trees of success. How can you train your mind to focus on solutions, possibilities, and opportunities? First, develop the habit of asking empowering questions. Every time you face a difficulty, instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I do about this? What is the next step I can take today? What is this teaching me about myself or life? Who can guide me or support me in this situation? Second, surround yourself with people who think this way. If your friends only complain about life, you will unconsciously develop the same mindset. But if your circle includes people who are solution-focused and growth-oriented, their mindset will influence yours positively. Third, read and listen to inspiring content daily. When you read biographies of achievers or listen to motivational speeches, you realize that everyone faces problems, but those who grow are the ones who focus on solutions and opportunities. Fourth, practice gratitude daily. Gratitude shifts your mind from what is lacking to what is already available. This change in focus reduces anxiety and helps you see new possibilities with a calm, clear mind. Finally, take small, consistent actions. Solutions and opportunities do not always appear in big, dramatic ways. Often they come through small steps taken daily. When you act despite fear or confusion, the path becomes clearer with each step. Remember this always, your mind is like a torch. If you keep shining it on problems, you will only see darkness, difficulties, and reasons to give up. But if you turn the torch towards solutions, possibilities, and opportunities, you will find ways forward even in the darkest situations. Great leaders, inventors, scientists, and spiritual teachers all live by this mindset. They did not have fewer problems than you. They simply chose to direct their minds towards solutions, possibilities, and opportunities. That is why they achieved greatness and contributed to the world. Today, make a commitment to yourself. No matter what problem comes your way, you will not waste your energy complaining or blaming. Instead, you will focus your energy on finding solutions, believing in possibilities, and seeking opportunities. Because in the end, life is not about what happens to you. It is about how you choose to respond, grow, and rise above what happens to you. I want to speak about a truth that is simple to understand but difficult to practice consistently. Yet, if you truly understand and apply it, it has the power to transform your life completely. That truth is changing your thoughts leads to changing your entire life. Every great spiritual teacher, motivational leader, And psychologists has emphasized this principle in different ways. Why? Because your thoughts are the foundation of everything you feel, say, and do. They are like seeds from which your actions and experiences grow. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts. Many people believe that their life is shaped by external circumstances, by where they were born, how much money they have, their family background, their failures, or their current situation. But the reality is that your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. You do not experience life as it is. You experience life as you think it is. I am useless. I can never succeed. This is the end for me. The other person thinks, this is disappointing, but it is not the end. I will find out where I went wrong, learn better strategies, and prepare smarter next time. The first person's thoughts lead to depression, hopelessness, and giving up. The second person's thoughts lead to motivation, improved preparation, and eventual success. The situation was the same, but their thoughts about it created entirely different futures. Your thoughts influence your emotions. If you think thoughts of fear, you feel fear. If you think thoughts of gratitude, you feel peace and happiness. If you think thoughts of anger, you feel restless and aggressive. If you think thoughts of kindness, you feel calm and compassionate. This emotional state influences your actions, which then determine the results you get in life. For example, if your thoughts before an important interview are, I am not prepared enough, I will never get this job, I am not good enough, these thoughts create anxiety, which weakens your confidence. You might speak unclearly, forget your prepared answers, and underperform. But if your thoughts are, I have prepared well, I will speak confidently, even if I don't know something, I will handle it calmly. These thoughts create confidence, leading you to perform well and leave a good impression. Changing your thoughts changes your health as well. Scientific studies have shown that people who think positively, who have hopeful and peaceful thoughts, have stronger immune systems, better heart health, lower stress levels, and longer lifespans. On the other hand, negative thoughts like anger, hatred, jealousy, hopelessness, and chronic worry increase stress hormones in the body, weaken immunity, and lead to lifestyle diseases. Changing your thoughts also changes your relationships. If you constantly think thoughts like, no one understands me, everyone is against me, people are selfish, you will behave defensively and rudely with others, creating distance and conflict. But if your thoughts are, people are doing their best with their knowledge, I choose to be kind, calm, and understanding, your behavior becomes more compassionate and your relationships naturally improve. Changing your thoughts changes your opportunities in life. When you think positively about yourself and your future, you become more open to learning new things, taking risks, applying for opportunities, and creating meaningful goals. But if your mind is full of limiting thoughts like, I can't do this, people like me can't succeed, it's too late for me, you will never take action, and even the opportunities in front of you will go unnoticed. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine your mind is like a radio. When you tune it to a negative frequency, you hear only negative messages. You can't. You are useless. Nothing will change. This frequency makes you feel weak and hopeless. But if you tune it to a positive frequency, you hear messages like, you can do it. You are learning every day. Things will get better if you try. And this frequency makes you feel hopeful, energized, and motivated. Changing your thoughts requires daily practice. It is not about ignoring reality or pretending that problems don't exist. It is about choosing the thoughts that empower you rather than those that destroy your confidence and peace. For example, when you fail, your first thought might be, I am a failure. Pause and replace it with, I failed in this attempt, but I am not a failure. I will learn from this and try again. Many people live their lives without questioning their thoughts. They think their thoughts are truths, but not every thought is true. Just because your mind says, you can't do this, does not mean it is reality. Thoughts are just mental statements, many of which are based on past conditioning, fear, and negative experiences. You have the power to change them consciously. Changing your thoughts is like weeding and planting a garden. Your mind has many weeds, negative thoughts that grow automatically because of fear, insecurity, anger, and limiting beliefs. If you leave them alone, they will take over the entire garden. But if you consciously remove the weeds and plant seeds of positive, empowering thoughts, your mind will become a beautiful, peaceful, and powerful garden that nourishes your life and the lives of others. One way to begin changing your thoughts is to practice daily affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself to reprogram your mind. For example, I am capable and confident. I choose to see opportunities in every challenge. I am worthy of love, respect, and success. I learn from my mistakes and keep growing. I trust in myself and in life's process. When you repeat these affirmations sincerely every day, your mind slowly begins to believe them, replacing old limiting thoughts with new empowering beliefs. Another way is to practice gratitude. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. It fills your mind with positive thoughts, bringing peace and happiness. Every morning or night, write down 3 things you are grateful for. It could be your family, your teachers, your health, your food, your knowledge, or opportunities you have. This simple practice changes your entire mental frequency. Remember, changing your thoughts is the first step to changing your words, your actions, your habits, your character, and your destiny. It is the root from which everything else grows. Just like a tree cannot bear sweet fruits if its roots are rotten, your life cannot bear beautiful results if your thoughts are filled with negativity and fear. So today, make a commitment to yourself. I will observe my thoughts and consciously choose those that empower me. I will replace fear with faith, doubt with determination, and negativity with positivity. Because I know that when I change my thoughts, I change my entire life. In the end, remember this timeless truth: your life is a reflection of your thoughts. Every achievement, every failure, every moment of confidence or fear begins first in your mind. You have learned today that your mind is like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant, nurture, and protect will grow and shape your reality. Negative thoughts limit your actions and potential, while positive, empowering thoughts build your confidence and fuel your growth. Great achievers throughout history first conquered their own minds before they conquered the world. They replaced fear with faith, doubt with determination, and excuses with effort. They chose to focus on solutions, possibilities, and opportunities rather than problems and limitations. They identified and removed their limiting beliefs, freeing themselves from chains of self-doubt and past conditioning. Understand this deeply: circumstances do not define you, your mindset does. When you change your thoughts, you begin to change your words. When you change your words, you change your actions. When you change your actions, you build new habits. When you build new habits, you develop a strong character. And it is your character that determines your destiny. No one else can think for you. No one else can plant the seeds in your mind's garden. This is your responsibility and your power. Today, choose to think thoughts that make you stronger, kinder, wiser, and more courageous. Choose thoughts that empower you to rise after failure, to remain humble in success, to keep learning, to keep growing, and to keep moving towards your highest goals. Always remember, changing your thoughts is not a one-day task, it is a lifelong practice. But every small effort you make today will create ripples of transformation in your life tomorrow. So as you leave here today, carry this conviction within your heart: I will guard my mind. I will plant seeds of faith, confidence, gratitude, and possibility. I will remove limiting beliefs, replace fear with faith and doubt with determination, and focus always on solutions and opportunities. Because I know that when I change my thoughts, I change my entire life. Thank you.